Wow, what an exciting day, what an exciting time, what an exciting interview, and what an exciting young lady that we're going to have on this morning.
Thank
It
you.
just warms my heart, to see how involved many of us are in different elements and different aspects of life. When I say us, I'm talking about African Americans. And it's particularly interesting when we have the opportunity to interview an African American that is not a whole lot of us doing that. So as you all know, we've got Disney on Ice coming to the Macon Coliseum on November the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. So I asked the guy who promoted, I said, do you have an African American skater, that we can kind of feature to kind of motivate the young people and motivate the community to let them know that we are involved in all walks of life as it relates to talent and initiatives and things of that nature? He said, well, let me check. And then about a few days later, he comes up with Miss Erin Smith, who's a
Hi.
with a skater with Disney on Ice. This is a call to action. I'm your host, Alex Habersham, with the absolute pleasure of being able to feature and interview and learn more about a young lady who's a part of the Disney on Ice show. And although she's from Washington, she travels all over the world. Matter of fact, she's in Alabama right now, and I'm sure that they are skating down there. So I want to come out of the show. And then let me tell you this. Everybody needs to listen to this show. We're on Sunday mornings on Bounce TV at 7 o'clock and 8:30. We're on Magic 100. We're on WDDO. We're on Alex Habersham YouTube. So you need to subscribe to the show because we have phenomenal shows, much like what we're having this morning. So I want to produce. I'm not the scapegoat. I want to present. I want to present to you all a young lady, Miss Erin Smith, who's a skater with Disney on Ice, and I'm so happy to be able to present her. And she's going to be in Macon. And I mean, she's got such a blooming personality, and I'm sure that she will serve as a source of motivation to our young people because she just kind of boom, she just kind of boom dropped into skating. So how you doing, Erin?
I'm doing good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm outstanding. So, I mean, I don't think your mama was a skater, and I don't think your daddy was a skater. You didn't have any sisters or brothers that were skaters, and here you are, a young person, and then all of a sudden, how did you just boom drop into skating?
Well, the way I just boomed, dropped into skating was my dad. Shout out to my dad. He took me to an ice rink in Oregon, and I saw like a lot of the girls doing like all of these cool tricks, and I kind of was like, I can do that. Like, yeah, I can do that. And a lot of people were like, "You're so good. Like, how long have you been skating?" And I was like, "I haven't been skating at all. Like, this is my first time." And they were like, "I don't believe you." And then after that, I told my mom that I wanted to skate, and she kind of was like, "Okay, like I'll sign you up, but you sure?" Like, because we don't skate. So she signed me up. I took it, and the rest is history. It's been the love of my life since I was 7. So.
Wow. So you started at 7. So I mean, what happened after you just kind of started skating? Where did you skate? And how did you eventually end up with just kind of walk me through? Because I know you didn't start with Disney at 7, so just kind of walk,
No.
just kind of
Well,
walk me through it.
what happened was I competed for most of my skating career, and my coaches noticed that they're like, "Oh my gosh, like she's a really good performer. She should audition for Disney on Ice because that'd be good for her." And me being a teenager and being stubborn, I was like, I don't want to do that. Like, what do you like? I don't want to go to Disney. Like, no, I don't want to do that. And I kind of was like, you know what? I'll audition, and if it's meant to be, I'll get this contract. And if it's not, then okay. And after I auditioned, I got the contract, and I was like, oh, I was like, okay, I guess I'm going. And my first year was a great experience. It was hard to leave home, but after a while, I was like, I could do this for a good minute.
Yeah, and that's how I said now. So how old were you when you got into skating?
I was
I
7
mean,
when I got
with
it.
Disney,
Oh, at
with Disney.
Disney, I was 21.
Okay, okay. Well, that's so outstanding. So, you know, I mean, requirements, physical requirements. I mean, what's really involved besides natural talent? A lot, watch me. A lot of people have talent, Erin, you know, but then they don't maximize it and then they don't bring that talent to fruition. So, what about your life and your experience? You were born, and then evidently you were born with it. This when you first time you jump on skates, they said, "Oh, you must have been skating a long time," and you really had not been. But you got to have that natural talent. But by the same token, you got to implement it and you got to develop it. So, how did you do that? To the extent that you were born with a natural talent, but you perfected it to the extent that you could perform, watch me, internationally. I see where you say you had been to Europe. So,
Yes.
so what did you do? What did you do? And let me tell you why I'm asking you this question. Because, I'm sure that this will motivate a lot of other young people and not so young people. If they are born with a God-given talent, then if they put the time and the work into it, then they could bring it to fruition and really do what they love. So, kind of, how did you develop that? How did it kind of lead into that?
It wasn't easy, I can tell you that. Um, it took a lot of hard work, not just physically, but also mentally as well. Um, I want people to know that when it comes to talent and having set talent and how to build up on that talent, yes, you need the physical, but you also need the mental as well. So not only, did I train a lot, work out my body a lot, train every day of the week as much as I could, I also had to train my mental state as well. Because as you know, this sport is not filled with a lot of people of color. So being the only person of color at my rink, it was hard because you start comparing. So when I started to train my mental state, I started to really see my true power in skating and being like, oh yeah, like I am good. Let me do something with this. So, that's how, I trained and that's how I got here.
Beautiful.
Of course, we all know that there are not a lot of African Americans in skating. And then that's
Hmm.
attributable to a lot of reasons because, in order to ice skate, for example, I've never been ice skating, and there was not a natural opportunity uh, for kids to be engaged in ice skating. So, how many African Americans have you run across, in your skating, around the country.
I have ran into a lot of inspiring men and women of color as well. And as I've gone back to my home rink, it's really beautiful to see a lot of young, young little chocolate babies coming into the rink and learning how to skate. And it really makes my heart happy because when I was a kid, I didn't have that when I was young. So being able to come back to my home rink and seeing all of these cute little chocolate babies and them looking at me and being like, oh my gosh, it really warms my heart. So it's
Yeah,
evolving. It's evolving.
yeah, that's outstanding, and that's really good to know. So, how many, being so young, and traveling like that, how did you adjust? Although you are an adult, you're 23. but how do you adjust to, you know, because now let me tell you what's important. What's important is that when you have a talent and then when you want to develop and accomplish, whatever talent you have, then there are certain sacrifices, as you mentioned, that one, has to take in order to bring it to fruition. So going all over the country and skating in different places and meeting different people, and seeing different environments, how has that been?
Hasn't been easy. When I went to Europe my second year, that was really tough because I was like, I can't just hop on a flight and go home. Like I have to, stuck, I'm stuck here. Like I'm here. So I called my parents a lot. I've called my sister a lot. And just talking to them when I was, overseas really did help me, you know, get through it. And, you know, it let me know that I was gonna be okay. And also, this is kind of funny to me. My dad was in the military, he's Air Force, and he got deployed everywhere. So when I got my contract to go to Europe, I was like, oh, I'm kind of like you. I'm getting deployed. And he was
Yeah.
like, yeah, kind of.
Yeah, but you know what? Skating and what you're doing is kind of related to dancing. So, talk about the connection between skating and dancing, particularly as it relates to Disney and as it relates to the show.
Yeah. There is a lot of dancing in this show, and I'm sure you've heard that ice skaters are basically like ballerinas, but on ice. So, the way that dance and skating relate to each other is if you want to do like research on it, there are a lot of moves that are in skating, but they're different names. So in skating, I'll give you an example. So like with um skating, we have this move that's called a spiral where we lift our leg in the air. In ballet, it's called an arabesque, and it's basically the same thing. So those two really do correlate to each other.
Well, that's really interesting, and the reason I said that because we got a lot of young people in churches and in groups and in dance groups and dance studios and what have you, who are dancers, and I just want them to know and to understand that dancing is a good thing. There could be a future in not necessarily in ice skating dancing, but there could be a future because what we want to do. And the reason you are important is because we want to show and reflect to young people, that you can just learn everything you can and just practice and be good at what you're doing, and then it will come to fruition. So, talk a little bit about the show. Now, they had a different theme last year. I can't remember what the theme was. Like they were trying to find somebody last year. They were searching last year was trying to find something. I do remember the plot of the show, but this year it's kind of got have a different plot. So they kind of have different plots and different themes. So talk
Mm-hmm.
about that because really, what a lot of people don't realize, and then what we're going to do, Erin, I'm sure you're going to interest a whole lot of old folk who wanted to come to see this show. So talk about the different plots and the different themes of the show.
Yes. So Disney on Ice Into the Magic. It has a lot of stories. You have a lot of the old school stories from Disney, and then we have a lot of the modern Disney movies. So for old school, we have Cinderella, we have Belle, and then we have Moana and Rapunzel and Coco, which are more of the modern stories. And this show is really great. A lot of fun characters. You get to see Mickey, Minnie, Donald, and Goofy. We have live hosts throughout the whole show, which really, they're telling you the story as the show is going along. Um, amazing, talented skaters, a lot of amazing special effects as well. Something for, the whole family.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then I've been telling people that that the show is for the whole family. And then I want you to address this, if you would, because I submit that the show is both educational and entertaining.
Yeah.
So kind of tie those two in as it relates to reflect on how the show is both educational and entertaining.
Yes. So with all of our stories, there's always a learning, something you can take from each story. So with Cinderella, she had a dream that, she wanted to get out of, her stepmother's grasp, and she kept believing in that dream and kept doing what she needed to do, and she got to that point. And a lot of kids can be like, "Oh, well, if I have a dream, if I just, keep working towards it, I can get to it." So that's one thing that a lot of kids can take from it. And I feel like not just kids, a lot of adults as well.
Yeah, well, talk about the entertainment element. Why you think it's so entertaining? What are the elements of the show that make it entertaining?
Well, the opening is really entertaining. I am in the opening, and what makes it entertaining is
Because
where
what makes it entertaining is that you're in it, right?
uh, but we are basically warming up the audience. So we are skating to like this upbeat music, and we're getting everybody on their feet, and we're like, come on, like dance with us, join us. And it's a very fun, entertaining opening that a lot of people love.
Yeah, that is so outstanding. Well, let me make this comment before I forget it, because I don't want to end this show, and we're not at the end. But before you are a phenomenal young lady.
Thank you.
You are so phenomenal. You're so articulate, and obviously, you're so talented, and you express yourself very well, and you've adjusted. You just got all of the components that
Thank
it
you.
takes to be successful over a lifetime. Speaking of a lifetime, so what do you want to happen next? Where do you see yourself going as it relates to what you're doing now and what you would like to do moving forward in the future?
In the future, I would still like to continue doing Disney on Ice, because there's still so much more things that I want to accomplish with this company. And then after I'm done with Disney, I do want to go back to school and study. I want to be an esthetician and live live the life that I have been so blessed to have.
Yeah, well, I think I think that you are well on the road to doing that. So where were you born?
When was I born?
Where?
Oh, where? I was born in Graham, Washington State.
Wow, that's way up. And so, was it cold up there? Did they have a lot of ice? And that's kind of how you got into skating.
No, actually, we have a lot of rain.
Yeah,
We
I
don't
know
ha
Washington.
we have a lot of rain, but not so much as like not like like we could go outside to a pond and skate on it. We don't have really anything like that, but we do have rinks, ice rinks.
Yeah, yeah, I know you do. So you really learned from going to real a skating rink, yeah, yeah. So that is so impressive and so entertaining. So if you were to make a commercial, if it was presented to you, if somebody said, "Well, Miss Erin Smith, since you are a skater with Disney on Ice and you're only 23 and you've been doing it since you were 21, tell me why, I should come." And this is an adult asking you, why should I come to Disney on Ice at the Macon Coliseum on November the 1st through the November the 3rd. I mean, what would me and my family get out of it? Now, so you answer that question.
Okay. The reason why you should come to Disney on Ice Into the Magic is because there is a lot of fun stories and it's entertaining. And as I've said before, it's not just for the kids, it's for the whole family. Each person is going to get something out of it. And you also kind of feel like you're at Disneyland, but you're watching the characters on ice. So that's why you should come see the show. And also you get to come see me.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that we all are going to want to come to see you. And you are such a phenomenal young lady.
Thank
And
you.
and then I'm going to try to really set up a reception. I, of course, have to get permission because I know that you're busy, but it would be so wonderful. It would be so wonderful for us to go into a room at the Coliseum and then put a video up of you with your skating and bring all of these young people, because they even got dance groups in churches. So you got people throughout the community who are very, very interested in dance. And not only that, we certainly need to try to motivate our young people. You have been successful both mentally, psychologically, and physically in your endeavor and having in your accomplishment as being a skater for Disney on Ice. Now, do you skate as Erin Smith, or are you a character in the skating, or are you just one of the supported skaters?
So I am an ensemble skater. So I would say in opening, I am skating as Erin Smith. And then for the other portions of the show, I've made up my own little characters for the show. So
Wow.
yeah.
So that means that you have some flexibility. So what we're going to do, we're going to show you on the video here, uh,
Mhm.
doing some skating to just prove to people that you don't just talk the talk, you skate the skate, Some people would say walk the walk, but you do both of them. So this is a call to action. I'm your host, Alex C. Habersham, having interviewed Miss Erin Smith, the 23-year-old phenomenal skater with Disney on Ice. And the show is going to be here at the Macon Coliseum, November the 1st through the 3rd. And it tells the story. It's both educational and entertaining. And I want to tell you again, and so you can tell your parents I said this. You are a phenomenal young lady. Tell them
Thank
I
you.
said, tell them I
I
said
will.
tell them I said they done good. You know what I'm saying? I know it's supposed to be did good, but I would have said they done good as it relates to you. And I want you to continue to be successful, maintain that personality you have, the drive you have, the ambition that you have. And I can't wait to see the show, and I'm sure that it's true for other members of the community. As a matter of fact, Aaron, to have more chocolate faces in the place. We are distributing $12 coupons,
Mm,
at my business. So people can come by my office, pick up a $12 coupon, go to the box office, buy a coupon for $12. They're gonna have three shows, and then they can just, tell people about the show. But I'm particularly interested in young people who are interested in dancing and what have you, and who young people who got talent to see this show and use you as a model, to
yes.
bring one's talent to fruition. So I give you a few seconds to make your parting comments.
I just want to say thank you for interviewing me. It's been a pleasure. This was a great experience. You are a wonderful, amazing man. So thank you so much. And if anyone wants to know like about times, you can find that on DisneyOnIce.com as well.
Wow, outstanding. This is a call to action. I'm your host, Alex Habersham, having interviewed Miss Erin Smith, a phenomenal leader with a phenomenal program and a phenomenal initiative that's both entertaining. She told y'all It's entertaining and education. This is a call to action. Thank you so much, Miss Erin Smith.
Thank you.
Ice skater for Disney on Ice. Have a great day.
You as well. Thank you.
www.makingblackpages.com